Hey you guys! Happy July 31st. I have a surprise video for you today. This is actually a session that's a donation. So, Matthias ordered a 30-minute psychic wisdom session for me, and he wants me to explore a question with Mother God today, which I think is so cool. One that we could all sort of participate in the experience. And the question is really good. And I'm gonna actually read it because I kind of took notes on it because it was a really awesome twist. So, okay, Matthias received a message from Mother God stating to live each day like it's your last. So here's the twist part, okay? So we're taught through religion to serve God, to heal the world, heal each other. So if we start living for ourselves, if we start living and rejoicing in life and living each day like it's our last, then how are we serving God and healing the world? That's the question. Because if we could start just celebrating life, then we're not, how are we going to help the world? I thought this was so cool. And I'm so excited right now to relax. Are you guys ready for this? Do you even have, I'm just going to ask you guys, what do you think about this before I even get connected and share a message? What do you guys think about this question? Do you think that we have a right, or do you think it's the right thing to do? Do you think it's helping the world for each and every one of us to live our lives, live each day like it's our last day? What do you think about that? I'm just gonna let you guys ponder it, and I'm gonna go ahead and relax. Matthias, you're awesome. I love when we can get a collective experience going on here. So, thank you for this. This is a really cool donation, and super super excited to make this video and to explore this question and to share it and for us to all contemplate it. It's really cool. All right, so I'm gonna relax here. It's really good timing for a question like this too, with all these massive energy shifts and the way we're all feeling right now. Really smushed, some of us anyway. I'm actually on the up and up from the smush energy, but it's still kind of like vulnerable. Every now and then it hits me. Okay, I'm relaxing here. I'm getting connected here with Mother God. I'm sending my energy down, okay? Just continuing to relax and get myself connected here. I'm entering into a serious state of being. I'm relaxing my senses, entering into a serious state of being, and like a child, actually, looking up at the clouds, looking up at the sky in order to talk to God, but not Father God this time, talking to Mother God this time. And I say, Mother God, why would you encourage me? Why would you encourage us to live each day like it's our last day, when the world needs us to live for each other, to help each other, to serve God, to serve a bigger purpose, and not to live for ourselves, but to live for each other? And what can you share with me about this so I can understand? Okay, so it's interesting because the scene where Mother God is sort of out there up in the clouds, it's returning all that energy into my heart, and I discover that Mother God is in my heart. And she tells me right off the bat that when I live in happiness each and every day, she is living in happiness each and every day. Then if I live in sorrow, if I live in longing, if I live in anger, if I live in all these different emotions, then she too experiences those emotions right along with me. She's showing me what is a spread, the experience of a spread. I don't know, what are these, cards or something? But I feel like something is being spread out on the table, okay? We're looking at the bigger picture, it's being spread out on the table. And she talks about innocent moments where you're a child and you're just doing an inspiring act of playfulness. You're climbing a tree, you're jumping rope, you're on the pogo stick, you're playing hide and go seek, you're doing these childlike activities, you're riding your bicycle. This is an experience of happiness that is very natural, very instinctive, and comes without a second thought. Oh, I feel like riding my bike today. I'm going to do that and I'm going to enjoy it. Now, there's other versions of happiness where we have a really bad day. I'm going to go spend $1,000 on shopping for 5 hours and I'm going to buy a bunch of new clothes, and that's going to make me feel so much better. So there's something here about the illusion of happiness. We're in a state of difficulty. We do an act in order to mend or heal that state, something that's very easy, something that's kind of taking the easy way out. But it's somehow giving back to ourselves generously in order to just sort of heal that, to heal ourselves by giving back to ourselves in a generous way. But it's really not mending the problem at all. It's only sort of covering it up for a little while. We're talking about different versions of what makes us happy. This one is really sentimental. It's deep. It's deep. It's not just a quick act of generosity to the self in order to make you happy or help sort of cover up the upset of the day. This one is sentimental. This one is, I really don't like going to a funeral, and that's not my family member, but that's my best friend right there, and that's their family member, and I'm gonna go there to support them. I'm going to go there to give them a hug and help them to feel as best as I can in these circumstances. Mother God says, wow, so we have somebody who feels uncomfortable going to a funeral, but they're putting themselves aside in order to help another soul. And she says there's deep meaning in this exchange. There's powerful, deep meaning in this exchange here. And she says this moment of discomfort actually blesses my soul. It blesses me. It makes me feel expanded and whole and wise. She shows me another scene where we have somebody who will never give themselves enough credit for their acts of generosity and kindness. Will always put themselves down, will never feel like they ever did enough. They're always putting themselves down in the process of trying to do good in this world, and they never really experience the wealth of what they're sharing. She says, this person actually is myself. I can't seem to... I could keep giving and giving and giving and giving, but I can't seem to feel the impact. I can't seem to feel, and I struggle to receive also. I really struggle to receive gifts of gratitude towards me, and I get overwhelmed. I struggle with feeling overwhelmed. So here we're talking about happiness here. We're talking about what creates happiness, and we're going into a deeper and deeper place. A deeper and deeper place, and that happiness isn't always easy to understand. It's not always a clear pathway. Happiness is not always a clear pathway. We could think that, in high school, smoking pot with our friends is a clear pathway to happiness. Like, this is a clear moment of what life is all about. But is it? The question is it? Some of the happiest moments are fleeting experiences, and we develop and we grow and we look back and say, I'm really glad I made a change. I'm really glad I grew up and grew out of that, something of this nature. My friends are still, smoking pot, and they're not really doing anything with their lives. And while I'm doing, it could be something of this kind where what is happiness is something we're trying to make sense of. We're trying to discover what happiness is truly all about. And she says, I'm along for the ride. I'm always a part of the ride, no matter what you choose. I experience the enlightenment. But she shows me different levels of what is really light, really simple, really easy forms of joy, but not even knowing how to grab hold and go even deeper into understanding the gratitude of that. So she's showing me somebody who's always lived a simple life, but had all their needs met, and also had financial stability. I mean, they're showing me what is a very attractive woman. There's something kind of island looking. She's got an island looking appearance, and she's on the beach. And she has beautiful long black hair. She's very beautiful, very natural looking. And she's smiling at her children who are playing on the beach. And you see behind her this gorgeous sort of tropical home. And it's modern also. It's sort of open to the wind blowing in. And it's expanded. There's beautiful trees everywhere. She has a husband who takes care of her, kind of thing. And her whole life is really simple. It's really peaceful. Has access to any amenity you would ever want. And so it's sort of just natural. It seems like everything comes naturally and there's no resistance. There's no need for the difficulties of life. And this is contentment. This you would define as contentment. But you can take contentment and you can just leave it as it is and just be at peace with it, living a life full of contentment. Or we can say, wow, I'm going to go deeper. I really want to look at all of the aspects of my life, and I want to see the deep meaning of this gift. The gift of my children, the gift of this home, the gift of my health and vitality and my beauty, the gift of my husband, the gift of everything in my life. And now we're taking contentment and we're enriching it. And we're enriching it with the value of our perception and the appreciation and gratitude for what we have. And we're bringing that contentment and we're placing it within our heart, and we're growing and expanding with it. And now life is more enriching than just contentment. It's enriching. It's full of enrichment. But she says, but how is this enrichment for this one female? Because it's not enrichment for the children, it's not enrichment for her husband, it's enrichment for her on an individual level. So how is this enrichment healing the planet? How is this going from one individual out into the planet? How is that happening? But she's showing me again that she is within this individual and she is receiving, Mother God is receiving the enrichment. And that what is out there is also within us, where we saw the child sort of looking up at the heavens and praying to God. But instead of praying to Father God, it's praying to Mother God. And Mother God says, well, I'm in your heart. Just look within yourself to find me and to experience me. I'm a part of every step that you take in this lifetime. But so is everybody else. So we're going to put this woman's children, we're going to place them in her heart as well, and her husband, in this home, and this beach, and we're going to place it all into her heart, because it's all inside herself and it's manifesting into a physical experience all around her. There's a pause for a moment. It's about you now, Matthias. It's all about you right now. I'm actually going into your energy field. Everything is very peaceful, very patient. Mother God is wanting to grow a garden within your heart to say thank you to you. And she is winking at me and saying, wow, Matthias's heart is a part of all of our hearts. And Mother God is growing a garden in Matthias's heart, but it's really a garden within all of our hearts. And this is my gift to say thank you to you, Matthias. Not you having to say thank you to me, me saying thank you to you. And she wants to know, how does that expression exist in this world? She says it's coming from all the souls. Whether we as human beings are aware of it or not, all the souls right now are saying thank you to you, Matthias, for your love and kindness and generosity, for your inspiration to share this gift with the collective, for the way you are touching my heart right now, which is a part of all of the hearts. And now we are experiencing how living for today, how living in the moment, how living for yourself and happiness does manifest. That all the hearts also receive that choice. The question is, what is your symbol of happiness? For one person, symbol of happiness is a really good movement of cocaine products today, and I just made $20,000. For another person, happiness is being in the garden and smelling the flowers that are now blossoming. For another person, happiness is spending $1,000 on new clothes. Another person is spending even more money on plastic surgery in order to look youthful, because to be happy is to be young. Or another person, it is to find themselves. It's sensitive for me because she's talking about me. Because my happiness is in finding myself. And that's why I'm constantly going deeper and deeper and deeper inside myself. And a part of me is a scrutinizer, is really a scrutinizer. When will I ever do good enough for myself? I'll constantly be going deeper and deeper and deeper to find more, to celebrate what I find, but when will it ever be enough? I'll continue to keep going deeper, but I do find depth, and I do find expansion, and I do find joy in this experience because it is enlightenment. And the pathway to enlightenment for me, Abby, is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be frictiony. It's meant to be vulnerable. It's meant for me to be too hard on myself sometimes and wonder how I can receive more. And it's meant to be so many things. Because it's my journey to enlightenment, these are the things I can work on. But sometimes the things that I can work on are some of the things that propel me forward for expansion. So it gets confusing. In the end, I love what I do. And what I do brings great joy to my heart and to my life. And for me, Abby, it is going deep. Is how I discover the joy, and it is going into vulnerability that I discover myself with more depth and thus more joy. And the deeper I go, the deeper I inspire others to go as well, through the work that I do, through the videos I make. We get to be whoever we want to be, Matthias. And we get to appreciate people for as they are. And we get to choose to be who we want to be. How we want to define our life. How we want to define our happiness. And you can't be the one to tell somebody how to be happy or what the right way to be happy is. But when you follow your heart, Matthias, when you get grounded into what makes you sing and ignites your fire, that is when you are glowing like the brightest light, like the brightest star in the sky. You are the firefly we've been looking for. There you are. Where did you go, Firefly? Oh, there you are. You're so bright. I can see you. I can see you. Oh, there you are, Firefly. Hmm. She says, don't let anybody put out your light. And she shows me the firefly gets put into a jar. And there's a face here that is inquisitive. A child that has captured the firefly is now in awe of the mechanism that creates that light. And she says, you're not a firefly, you're a human being. And sometimes as human beings, we put ourselves in jars and we don't even realize that we're doing it. So for you to receive a message to live your life for yourself, or live your life like every day is your last day, so to speak, this is me opening up the jar that you've put yourself in and giving you permission to be happy and to live your life for yourself, Matthias, because that is what I encourage you to do. That is what I encourage you to do, Matthias. That is what is going to help your soul to expand and grow in a way that is bringing the brightness to the surface, that is propelling your pathway forward, that is your spiritual destiny. She wants to know what you think, Matthias, or what all of us, everybody watching, thinks. If she were to tell the cocaine dealer to live every day like today is your last, would that cocaine dealer stop dealing cocaine, or would that cocaine dealer potentially push more or spend all the money? Or there's something to when it is appropriate to live each day like today is your last, and when it is time for a deeper self-discovery about the choices that you're making and how those are really benefiting yourself, really benefiting your family members, really benefiting the community, because the community is your family. The community is your family. So if you're giving cocaine to your community, you're also giving it to your unborn children, or your wife, or you're giving it to everybody. You're giving it to all the parts of yourself that you are okay destroying their lives. And so there has to be a deeper look at who you are and how the choices are influencing the world. She shows me something even more disturbing, and it's somebody who has a screw loose or a wire is not right in their head, and she encourages them to live each day like today is their last, and they get big-eyed and have this very twisted idea to do the unspeakable, and it's pretty disturbing. I mean, we're talking about like serial murder or very twisted, disturbing things. This individual doesn't fear hell, doesn't fear death, doesn't fear judgment from a spiritual realm. Only lives for whatever this inspiration is within themselves to hurt others on an extreme way. It's sort of reminding me of a movie, where the guy sort of traps women, and then he puts the skin into like a body or something. There's something about eating bodies, and it's very disturbing. So there's different levels of how we embrace that message. She's bringing to the surface from this very disturbing scene a reality about how good and how pure your soul is, how kind and how generous your soul is, that she would encourage you to live each day like today is your last, because she wants you to acknowledge it's time to celebrate life, Matthias. It's time for you to start celebrating life and celebrating who you are, because you're a really beautiful person. she says it's a special message when she gets to share that. When that is her, it's like, okay, what should I do next with my spiritual growth? Live your life for yourself and be happy. Wait, what? What? Aren't I supposed to be doing something more? Aren't I supposed to be giving back to humanity more? Aren't I supposed to be... No. The greatest way you could give back to humanity is give back to yourself. Love yourself, rejoice, be happy. That is the greatest gift you can give to yourself, which is the greatest gift you can give to me. That's what she says. I'm still in the energy. It's pretty intense here. I feel overwhelmed a bit by it, and I tell her, why can't the world just be a happy place? Why can't we all just live each day like today is our last, but we live it as good souls, as good loving people that aren't influencing others in painful ways or creating addictions, creating imprisonments, creating suffering, killing other people, just putting other people down and being completely unaware of your own actions and the cruel way that you just are. Like, some people just are completely oblivious of how judgmental they are, or how superficial, or how selfish, or how... And they haven't discovered it yet. And for them to live each day like today is their last, they'll take that advice and they will put it to use in a way that's not really bringing out the best within themselves or best within this world. And in a weird way, you could say that we are all doing that all the time. We are all living each day like today is our last. On some level, we've created everything in this world today living for ourselves. Or living in fear of each other, which is also living for ourselves. She also says some of us live in acceptance of others. And acceptance to a degree where we never speak up about how we feel. And that too is not healthy balance. We all have the right to share what feels uncomfortable inside ourselves and to be heard without judgment. But we live in a vulnerable world and judgment exists. We even judge that certain people aren't ready to hear that type of message yet, so we just don't share it with them. But they're ready, and they need to hear it. They need to face themselves in the mirror. If we don't speak, they won't change. She says, is that living each day like today is your last? Having to do the difficult things, having to tell somebody the way that you really feel about them, even if it might not change their behavior, even if they might yell at you or put you down, even if whatever it becomes isn't what you would hope it would transition into. She's showing me more and more the world is in pain and in fear. She says to you, Matthias, that there's something that you haven't discovered about yourself yet that creates a dancer out of you, while also helping others who are ready to receive that gift. Not everybody's ready to receive it. And she shows me myself as a dancer who is free to be myself. And the more free I am to be myself, the more I realize that I am accepted. I am an acceptable person. I am good enough for this world. And through others, Matthias, I'm able to heal my own pathway, and that brings me great joy as well. And to feel like we can be here together with each other and not separated, that heals my soul. And to conquer my own issues with confidence and self-consciousness, that too is hard for me, but it heals my soul, and it helps me to live with more depth and more honesty about living each day like today is my last. I live it as more of an honest and balanced and happy, healthy person. And it gives me even more meaning to know that I can help others through just being myself, and helping others to see that it's okay to be their selves too. And I know that I'm making this world a much better place for my children and for the members of my family, generations and generations down the road, and the versions of myself that are come back to this planet in future lifetimes. I'm creating a better world for them. So in some sense, living each day like today is your last is sort of like the life never ends, and life just keeps going on from one lifetime to the next, to the next, to the next. But she is ridiculously proud of you, and she's so proud of you. I mean, she's got this garden growing here in your heart. The more I talk, the more vibrant it becomes. And it's really not just your heart, Matthias, it's all of our hearts. It's Abby's heart too. Like you doing this, you sharing this gift with the world today, Matthias, is actually super touching my heart big time, and means a lot to me, and is growing a garden within my own heart, not just through the gift you're sharing, but through the meaning of the message, which I wouldn't have had access to without you. And we all are receiving a garden, a gift of your beautiful heart, the garden within your heart. We're all receiving that through you, through this choice. You are accessing the world and healing the world, and you should be so proud of yourself. So, so proud of yourself. She also wants you to know, Matthias, that everything in this world is going to be okay. And don't worry about the way the world looks. The world, she's showing me through the eyes of a human being, we're digesting a lot of reasons for fear and concern. But she says, those are, let those be my concerns. And she sort of takes me back to being a child, where being a child, you don't have any of this awareness. And you just feel like riding your bike today, so you just do. And she said if the world would just access their innocence, access their childlike instincts, they would find themselves doing artwork, painting, taking photographs, actually taking the time, not just like actually discovering the talents within themselves and really participating in developing those talents and sharing them with others who are appreciative of them. And so many different things that we would be doing with our time, and we would be sharing it with more of the world instead of with just ourselves, just feeling alone. But she shows me people riding bikes on a pathway, and every time everybody says hi to each other when they ride by, everybody is happy, everybody is just smiling all the time. She shows me a world where the children are raised to follow their heart and their happiness, but there's something along the ways of they're given gifts of perspective, encouraging them to discover what they love most within themselves. And maybe they love flowers, so they're given seeds and taught how to plant those seeds and shown how the flowers grow over time. And then they're given new experiences with gardening that are fun for a kid and help to plant those seeds into their hearts as adults, where they love nature on a whole new level, and now they want to share that nature with others. and their connection with earth inspires their spirit to develop communications with the plants, and now they're developing gifts of healing for others. So it's sort of like she shows me a world where this is sort of happening across the globe, and the adults are so balanced and so harmonious and so diverse in what their creative passions are and what the inspirations are within their soul. There's so many different ways that we share love with each other and we emanate it, and it's so balanced that there isn't any fear, there isn't any loose wires or lost screws. There's only the balance of giving and receiving and loving everybody in harmony. And she wants to know, Matthias, if you feel like the world is moving in this type of direction. She also wants to know if you honoring her calling to live life like today is your last, if you were to honor her calling, do you see yourself helping to manifest a world of this kind? She has a super big smile, and she just like, she smiles and nods like trying to tell you the answer, like, I gave you a calling. This is your calling. This is exactly what you need to receive right now. And it is good. And it blesses all the souls when you honor the calling within your heart and the inspirations that bring the happiness and the joy out of you. And now you're like the bright firefly, you were like the bright star in the sky, and our breath is taken away by how bright you shine. And you inspire us to want to shine brighter too, and to be happier and to smile more and to laugh more. It's really lovely. Everything is relaxing here. Oh, wow. There is a final sort of whirling kind of note about remembering the depths of how deep you can take your happiness, sort of like we can keep it, there's the simple happy moments, like a cup of coffee in the morning. Don't just drink that cup of coffee in the morning. It becomes contentment or routine. Find yourself enriched by the reality that you get this gift of coffee every day. And now you raise the volume of the happiness that comes from this simple gift, right? So now it's not a simple gift, it's an enriching gift. It's a deeper gift, right? So there's something about the level of happiness, and we can just live happy, or we can go into appreciation and really get connected to enriching the happy moments as well. So there's something about going deeper into what brings out the joy, and really getting captivated by that. And also a little bit of a breeze talking to me about how I've been feeling with the energy shifts, which I'm not the only one, but how I, instead of feeling like resistance and a clench and what is happening to me and what is wrong with me, that I'm actually in a state of empowerment. I can choose empowerment. And so we can actually transform what is an awful feeling into a positive one by saying, I'm going to let this energy, I'm going to let this, these shifts, I'm going to bring them inside myself, and they bring the honest stuff to the surface so I can heal that and live with a more enriching happiness with each and every day. So there's something about what truly makes us happy. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's truly making us happy, but if we transform the way we're looking or receiving, it can actually motivate true celebration, honest celebration. Not the dreams where it's just like, I just want to have a happy life where I have money and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to I don't have to do anything. I just buy things and live an easy life. Is that true happiness? You know what I mean? Like, is that living each day like today is your life? So this is a fascinating conversation here. Not be shy about finding out who we truly are inside if we want to truly live a happy life. Got to find ourselves as well. And then we got to live by who we are discovering ourselves to be, yeah? I don't mean to keep this going, but I will say that me choosing, for instance, in my life, me choosing to honor who I am, which was very vulnerable, very scary, very difficult for me to start making YouTube videos. It was very scary the first time I did a first psychic reading. It was terrifying. It was very scary for me to become who I am today. Took a hell of a lot of guts. And I went through extreme processes. I've gone through dark night of the soul, which I don't even know how I'm still alive. That was so terrifying and difficult. So you see, I have to be true to who I am, and I have to keep living true to who I am. So for me, living each day like today is my last is constantly conquering myself and living true to myself. And I live a 10 million times happier life today, persevering through all that, than if I would have just stayed hold of all my fear and all of the way life was, and I just want it to be easier. I don't want to face any of this stuff. Oh man, I would be just, I mean, the horrible way that lifestyle was. It wasn't living at all. It wasn't living at all. It was surviving, and I wouldn't even call that surviving. And here I am today. So again, it's an interesting conversation, but you are totally loved. Receive. Allow the garden to expand. Be happy. Continue to live each day like it's your last, Matthias, because it's creating a brighter world for us all. All right, that's all I have to share. That was so cool. Gosh. All right, for those of you watching, if any of you are interested in a psychic session, please visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all. Thank you, Matthias. I wish you all a wonderful day.